Hey everybody, happy Tuesday. Hey, happy ninth day of 2024. My goodness gracious, it's going by already so quickly. So today was an easy day, right? Again, OMAD, one meal a day for me. I'm curious how you did. Are you struggling? Are you trying to find your 3 meal, 2 meal, 1 meal a day type balance? Sometimes I use Wednesdays for 2 meals, like breakfast and then an early dinner. And then some days I'll just go the whole week with 1 meal a day and then do 2 meals on the weekends. But I wanted to answer a couple of questions that people have texted me about. They were asking, number one, why did I settle on the carnivore diet? A lot of people say, are you just, following this fad? How do we really know that it's okay and that it's, well, let me tell you right now. I started morbidly obese, right? And I've had a struggle with weight my entire life. But back in 2021, when I really made a decision for my health and wellness, I was searching for answers for a couple of things. My mom was diagnosed with 3 types of cancer in September of 2019. And so I wanted to, get myself as healthy as I could, selfishly, and or so I could also help take care of her, whatever the circumstances were. She went into remission, but the clear cell cancer came back like a vengeance. I mean, it took her life last November 17th of 2023. So she battled it for 4 years. Wow, she put up a great fight, but I'm so thankful that she's at rest and at peace now, and we've dealt with that over the last few weeks. But I'm super happy that she's at rest and that she's just overjoyed to be pain-free. And I need to look at it that way because I want to be pain-free. And being morbidly obese, you can only imagine, the stress on your joints, and 322 pounds, right? So now I'm in the 280s or right around 280. But I've tried so many things, and I didn't realize until I read a specific book and then a couple of more books and a couple of more that certain foods that you eat can actually hold back not only your weight loss, but your desire for health and wellness. It can just add this clouded confusion in your mind, all of these things. And I just chalked it up to getting older. I thought, that's all right. I'm going through a lot. My mom has cancer and I'm worried about my dad and what's going to happen with him and, all of this stuff, right? I have a great family. I have one sister with her family, her 3 boys and husband, and then my parents. And it meant a lot to me. So, for those few reasons and many, many more, looking for a pain-free solution to life, I had to understand about what happens to our body when we eat certain things. And one of my favorite books is by Judy Cho, Carnivore Cure. Here it is right here. So this book, I will tell you, is one of my absolute favorites. There are several great books out there. I'm not going to lie. But this is the one that really helped me really jump into being a carnivore and stick with it. Because she breaks down so many different things throughout chapter by chapter. It's so informative. Rather than big brush strokes, it's detail. And I really appreciated that. And as an engineer by trade in the technology sector, I dive into detail, right? I need to know A, B, C, D, in a linear fashion. So when I did her book, Carnivore Cure, is really about an elimination diet. She's not saying you should just be 100% carnivore. Everything else is a waste of time. You're going to hear that from a lot of people on YouTube. And to a big percentage, they're right. But without a lot of context, you don't know why, right? I get it. So, but in her book, she tells you specifically why you need to be careful what you eat. So it's an elimination diet where you eat meat, try to, for up to 90 days, reduce inflammation, and you're going to see quite a few things shift in your life. And then one at a time, maybe a week at a time, right? Bring in one thing, okay? Bring in spinach, and try that for a week. And then bring in Brussels sprouts, your favorite. Come on, don't lie. Then bring in green beans and kale. Oh my, whatever. And as you do that, you're going to find out, you know what? Last night, I just felt itchy. Ding, ding, ding. So now take it back out of your diet. And it really helps you progressively. It takes a little while, of course. But you know what? It took you 10 years, 20 years, 30 years to get into the shape that you're in now, right? If you're like me, right? If this is why you're here and just want to see more people in a similar situation. Okay, what's Joel doing at 53 years old? And this book, I would say, in many ways saved my life, for sure. So I have no direct connection with Judy Cho, but I adore her. I think that her and her people and her focus on this and the way she deep dove into detail is just great. I would say everyone should buy that book, quite honestly, and really learn about how the body is affected in certain people in our history that brought seed oils into it, right? From the 1920s and then the 50s and 60s and 70s. And just a little history, a little timeline. So anyway, that's one of the biggest things. That book helped me go into the carnivore side of things, the elimination diet. I have not had one leaf of spinach since, and my skin is way clear. I still don't look like Brad Pitt, but that's okay. I'm fine. And then the other thing is, people ask about, hey, Joel, I saw last night on your day 8 video, you got 3 steaks on a plate. Aren't you worried about constipation by eating too much at one sitting? Shouldn't you eat it throughout the day? Wow, there are so many rules of thumb on this, and I've tried several of them, but I love the intermittent fasting side of things, where you give your body time to rest and process, right? And then you feed it a meal and you give it time to rest and process. Rather than, eat a half pound of meat, wait 2 or 3 hours, eat a half pound of meat, wait 2 or 3 hours. It just never worked for me. I just felt bloated. I didn't like it. So I went from 3 meals to 2 meals to 1 meal. And any typical intermittent diet or intermittent, fast, it's really interesting because people talk about the benefits of eating only in the morning and then fasting throughout the night, or only eating, before sunset and not after. Wow, so many things. And I love the evenings most of all. I give myself 1 hour. 23-hour fast, and I eat in 1 hour. And it's great. I have no problem with it. And then I drink my favorite, Liquid Death. This is great. Again, I have no affiliation with these things, but again, they're little tricks. Water just didn't do it for me. But the fizzy water, I call it, that sparkling water, is more satiating. It just hits my palate and it feels like you're drinking a soda or a beer or whatever. It's the fizzy part that tricks your mind, and it's like, wow, this is refreshing. And I could drink that thing at room temperature, crack it open, and it still feels cool. It's just how sparkling water is, I guess, at least for me. So little things like that I do when I eat animal protein, and it could be chicken, could be lamb, beef, bison, whatever. But I eat fish too. I enjoy salmon a lot, and some shellfish occasionally, but mostly red meat. So anyway, let me get back to this. Joel, if you eat 3 steaks, aren't you worried about it, just backing you up? And the trick is butter, right? So you don't want to do too much at first, but add an ounce of butter. So if you're going to have a full steak, put some salt on it, a pat of butter, And if you're doing it yourself and you're making it in your kitchen or something, then a stick of butter cut off about 1/4 inch, that's about a 1 ounce pad of butter. And it's perfect. It's great. And then if you still feel a little uncomfortable or something, add 2 pads of butter. But don't do it too much. Give it a few days, 1 pad of butter, and then day 4, 5, or 6, add another one, and that's fine. And just see how your body regulates it. You do not want to add too much fat at once, because if you have saturated fat in a ribeye, plus you put on half a stick of butter, I guarantee you that's going to fly out of you faster than you ate it. And that's not what you're after. But the good thing is that you're just after a good balance. So the elimination in the evening or the morning, whatever floats your boat, so to speak, it's just nice and easy, right? And the beautiful thing about carnivore is, I'm going to get a little graphic here, I'm sorry, but it's true, is when you go to, wipe yourself, maybe once, maybe twice. It's not this, I'm sorry I have to say this, but it's not this smeary mess from all this crap that was impacted in you. And you're like, ugh, trying to get it out. And it's just, oh my God, 27 rolls of toilet paper later to clean yourself up. And then if you're ever been that person where you have to take the toilet paper and you have to run under a little water just to clean everything and all that. Oh man, yeah. When I was a kid, I'm going to be honest, transparent. When I was a kid, I used to have a knife in the bathroom cupboard because all I ate was carbs. And we didn't know back then, right? I was in the early 70s. I was so constipated and I would push and it was so rock hard. I would clog the toilet all the time. So I took a knife and I would break it up and then toss it in the sink and then finish my business and then flush it. And then I'd wash my hands, wash off the knife and put some alcohol on there and just put it back in the cabinet. I'm not even kidding. I'm being very transparent right now, but that was when I was in my single digits growing up. I mean, I didn't walk around with a knife at 2, but I was like 8 or 9, something like that. And and it was not a sharp knife. It was just kind of this dull little knife that my dad gave me. And I didn't clog the toilet anymore. But if someone would have just told me, hey, increase your butter or eat the saturated fat with the ribeye and a little bit of butter, that will help everything soften up and slide right through. And you're not going to have this, mess at all because it's just the right amount of oil in your body. So, don't you feel better knowing that? Don't you? You're just going to go eat a stick of butter right now, aren't you? I wouldn't do it. I would not do it because otherwise you're going to have issues. I don't know how these people can do it. I love and adore so many on YouTube that do carnivore. And look, I'm eating the 1 stick of butter a day. Good for you. I'm trying to lose weight. And I can't imagine that much fat way over the 60 or 70% fat to whatever ratio that I'm supposed to eat. No. It's just too much. So you have to do what's right for you. And the only way you're going to find out is to try. So you're going to listen to what I say. You're going to listen to what 100 other people say. And you're going to see their victories. You're going to hear their stories. And I had a great story. I 61 pounds was fantastic in less than 6 months. But then I gained 29 back. But I let that get to me, right? I was worried about my family, my mom, and all that stuff. And I did not pay attention. And now I'm putting myself first, right? I have a wonderful career during the day, wonderful team, and I want to be healthy for them, be clear of mind and focus. So that's that. Carnivore Cure, Judy Cho, and eat enough butter so you poop clean. Hey-o! Isn't this amazing? I mean, anything else you want to know? Anyway, those are 2 really key things that get asked a lot. I watch a ton of videos. And I listen to videos more than even watching them nowadays because I just click it on in my truck and I'm just listening and they're having these embarrassing conversations about, what do you think about poop from eating all that pork and meat? And it's just like the same question. I don't know why. But it makes sense. So now I just said it. So please forward to all your people that are constipated. I'm happy to help them. If nothing else, you can get one of those bottle brushes. And I'm just kidding. Don't do that. That would be horrible. Anyway, but I appreciate you hanging out. If you stuck around this long and you didn't fall asleep. If you did, it's fine. My voice then must be soothing. So that's good. But I'll put in a few more books. Of course, the lies your doctor told you, I believe it was, or The Lies My Doctor Told Me, something like that from Ken Berry. I've gone through so many that I forget the order that they're in, but it's wonderful, wonderful things. So I'll post more on those. But yeah, Dr. Sean Baker. There are so many. Dr. Chafee, Dr. Kiltz. I mean, there's so many people that I have to thank from snippets of information. I think overall, if you're going to say, Joel, give me one channel to really help me understand, you're probably best going with a physician. And I would say Dr. Ken Berry or Anthony Chafee. Those two are really, really good. Yes, Dr. Kiltz is great and Sean Baker, but I'm really thinking because Dr. Ken Berry was the keto to carnivore, and Nisha, his wife, and his kids now, or their kids, they're raising their whole family like that. So it's a very good environment and a lot of great facts and data. And then I would say, yeah, Carnivore Cure for just little things that ail you, aches and pains. If you try an elimination diet and just try carnivore that way, I think you're going to be surprised. And you may add keto back into it, but you got to promise yourself one thing. Don't go into the middle of the grocery store and buy, look, it's a keto bar. No, it's got preservatives in it and all that crap. Go get some great cheese or whatever if you want to add fat that way. But don't buy sliced cheese in the plastic wrap or anything like that. Get some really good blocks of cheese and, Parmesan Reggiano or whatever it is. I am not a big cheese guy, so I have no idea. I'm not pronouncing it right, but there are lots of great cheeses that are more of a drier cheese, but have a lot of flavor. And those you can just kind of use a grate over your meat, and you get a little bit of that cheese flavor plus the meat. I use a little bit of hot sauce personally, and I think it's fantastic. I use Cholula and Tapatio. It's fantastic. So don't not do the carnivore diet or keto just because people say, you shouldn't do hot sauce. You shouldn't do that. Dang it, do it. Add in the hot sauce. It's okay. I have some on my table over here, and I'm not even kidding. It's there, Tapatio, because you have to do what's right for you. And eventually your palate's going to shift, but it's going to take a few weeks, all right? It's not a 2-day thing. Hey, I'm suddenly cured. No. Remember what I said earlier in the video. It took you how many years to get to the state that you're in now? It ain't going to happen in 90 days. So, yeah, I honestly am planning 365 days. I'm going to do a video every single day for 365 days and other supplemental videos too. I think I have about, 21 or 22, and I've only been doing this for 9 days. That's it. But I've done some extras, and I had a couple of videos that I've posted. I think that everyone should do this. If anything, if no one else watches this, but me, as I rewatch it to edit it, I'm listening to a few of the things that have meant the most to me. Carnivore Cure and pooping. Hey, it's huge, huh? Anyway, all right. Well, I'll wrap this up now since I have no idea. Freckle past a hair. It's getting late, and I need to get up early. But I really If you're considering this or you're already doing it and you're struggling, hang in there. It's all right. Just begin with the end in mind. Good old Dr. Stephen Covey. And know that 365 days from now, you will be a different person. Who cares if it's only 10 pounds different? Your body's going to change. You're going to gain muscle, lose fat. So don't focus on the scale. It's one of several measurements. Body measurements, scale, overall waist size, and how your clothes fit. Are you foggy-minded? Do you have headaches? Did your headaches go away? Did you have a back pain, but your back doesn't hurt anymore? All of those things factor in. The scale is probably 1/20th of what you should be focusing on. But it is a metric overall, and I get it. I use, it's not on right now, but on my first finger here or my middle finger, I wear the Oura ring, O-U-R-A. And I use that because I choose to use mechanical automatic watches, and I love timepieces. So I don't use an Apple Watch or a Samsung watch or anything like that, only because I prefer analog watches or mechanical watches. So I had to have something, and that Oura ring is the best that I've found that gives you sleep measurement and a whole bunch of things. So anyway, I thought this was going to be 2 minutes, and now it's probably 22 minutes. But sorry about that. But thanks for hanging out. I appreciate you. Just stay focused. It's all right. If you have any questions, wow, I have lots of answers from my own journey. I'm not a doctor. I never will claim to be. So whatever you do has got to be right for you. All of our bodies are different. We're going to have different allergies that we're going to have to cure. We're going to have just different things. I got to figure out how to stop my hair loss. Hey-oh! But that's okay. One step at a time. God bless you guys. Have a great night. And thanks for hanging out. All right. Bye.